and I am a puppet on a fucking string. Much as I want to be, hey, let me tell you something, I do whatever the fuck I want. I don't. Most guys are like, you know, in a relationship and you are held hostage by their emotion. You exist in keep that happy so I can, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
And there's all of this talk about power and this and that and the fucking other thing. And I am a puppet on a fucking string. Much as I want to be, hey, let me tell you something, I do whatever the fuck I want. I don't. So there you go. There's that.
Okay, I love that. So what he and again, when I say this, these guys don't come off at all to me as weak men. So this is just part of the territory when you get to commitment, longer term commitment. It's just so hard. Like Bill Burr just said there. He's like, I'd like to just say that, yeah, I call the shots and I say and I do whatever I want. But he goes, but that's not the truth. I'm a puppet on puppet strings. So he's being really honest with you. And again, this is part of that whole thing where, and this is honestly like, I study this dating stuff and relationships and all that all day long. And I know now, I mean, I'm not naive enough to think that I could beat out all the rules, because you see guys like this and they're just being honest. They're like, yeah, I want to say blah, blah, blah. But basically, eventually, it's like keep combating, and she'll keep coming back at you until eventually you have no choice, but it's just easier to succumb and to just, all right, fine. And like, just think about that over time. So that's why, you know, when some guys will talk about, you know, holding the masculine flame, and I'm a total believer in that. For interactions with women, it goes so much better when you hold your masculine flame. But the realistic ability to be able to do that when you're in a longer term, the longer you commit to somebody, the harder, in my opinion, and many other guys' opinions, it is to hold that up till eventually, like Bill Burr just said, you just like, dude, I'm just a puppet on puppet strings. Now, is he exaggerating a little bit? Of course. But, you know, this is the same pattern we hear over and over and over again, whether it's some random guy on Reddit just typing about his personal story or two men like this. So another cost, guys, another cost of commitment. Here's one of the things is she can manipulate with strategic crying. We've talked about this before in the, you know, manipulation series we did, how they can, you know, if you're arguing or whatever, they don't always fight fair. They can manipulate with strategic crying. And again, don't take it from me. Don't take it from some guy that just, you know, looks through a red pill lens about things. Let's just hear it from these two guys that a lot of people know in their daily lives.
Let me tell you something, dude. Women are awesome, but like in those moments, dude, it makes you question, yeah, like what you signed up for.
Ooh, I hate when old parts of your personality show up at a dinner table with your family, like old parts. Like I have a real issue with women crying. Like it comes out. It comes out like I was beaten by a crying woman. Like it, when a woman cries and there's confrontation and a woman goes to crying to solve it, I shut down and I start becoming verbally abusive. Like I am not cool with it. And I start saying things like, oh, that's right, we don't need to use words anymore because you can cry on demand. And
you know what, dude, I've done that. You can't win. It's just like, I did one time. I was just like, you're crying over this? Like, how old are you? I mean, it was just some bullshit thing. And all of a sudden she's fucking crying. Because, look, we're not women, so we don't know how they think, but I am highly suspicious of the crime.
Fuck yeah.
So I'll give them 47% of those cries are because I hurt your feelings, and the other 53 is I'm making some good points you can't refute, and you don't feel like apologizing, and the second you cry, there's nothing worse than making a woman cry. The second they cry, you literally feel like you're a bully. You just knocked an ice cream cone out of a kid's hand, and you're just like, all right. I'm sorry. Even though I feel like I was right and I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry. Just stop doing that. I used to do a bit in my act. I used to do this bit. I said, the longer I'm married, the less respect I have for Meryl Streep. They can all cry on cue. We need 7 potatoes for this dish and they only have 6. Oh. If they need to go there emotionally, they can do it. I have to get rid of a dog. I have to have a friend die.
Okay, again, she can manipulate with strategic crying. Every guy I know, every guy that has been in a relationship or even a friendship with a girl, you've gotten to know a girl on a close enough level, they know this feeling. They know this feeling. At some point it comes up, and then you have to walk on eggshells. And he just, put it there perfectly, and then you feel bad, you have to apologize. And again, guys, the more you invest yourself, again, that's where you step into the commitment. Again, do your own thing, of course. I'll never tell you what to do, but just realize that the cost goes up higher and higher. Because even in the sense of, if a girl starts crying and it's, that she's crying and trying to, just get away, pull something on you. Well, when you're early on, you can, like me, I just I don't deal with that. If a girl's going to do that, I'm kind of like, all right, maybe we shouldn't be hanging out again. You can set your boundaries and then she'll either have to, live by them or not. But the more you commit, the more you invest yourself with her, it's just a matter of time. Think about it, that the more you are committed to her, that then when she pulls this crying thing, it's going to even tweak you even more. It's going to be easier to get sucked into that. And then also, now you're also, by demand, your association with her, you're meeting her friends, you're meeting her family and all that stuff, and now she's crying, and then it's even if you're not in the wrong, it's gosh, I don't want her to go complain to all of her friends and all of the family, but there's just so much more, right? These are the things that start to add up when you have to really honestly weigh the pros and cons of the commitment thing. And there's another piece to this little cry part too. It cut out here in the actual podcast, so I just have to skip ahead just a little bit here.
I've cried. I definitely can cry, but I can't cry the way my wife and or daughters. And if my daughter did it one time, started crying because she was losing the argument. I did not handle that well at all.
I would like to say that I draw the line with my kid, but my kid isn't old enough to do that yet. I hope I don't do that.
Bill, trust me. This was got caught lying, got caught doing something, came home, was defiant. And when I told her all the shit I knew about, she started crying and I went, no, we don't. We're using words today. And I think I probably said something like, I don't know, I'm sure I said some correlation to men running Fortune 500 companies don't cry when they fucking get caught.
You know what, dude? You were right up until that last comment. And I'm telling you, that's the game they play. They know you're right. They start crying. And then they're just waiting for you to open that porthole to make the argument about something else. And okay, I lied. Okay, I said I was here and I was really there. And you're right and all that. But that's no reason to bring up some white toxic male at a Fortune 500 company. They'll fucking go down that thing, and next thing you know, you're apologizing.
Oh,
it's really genius. I will tell you this though.
Okay, so wow, there's a couple of things there that they mentioned, and one of the reasons I showed that first part too, where he talked about his daughter here on the right, his daughter crying and him like, no, we're using words here. That is one of those things where when you get a little bit deeper on all this stuff and you talk about how important it is to have a masculine figure in the home, And these guys both do a good job. I don't always show it in this because there's just a lot in this podcast, but they do a good job of really giving credit to women about what they're good at and how good they are with the kids and these other things. So they do give them a lot of credit, and they even admit that they admit that they don't have the same intuition with their children that their mother does. And so they give women a lot of credit. But at the same time, right, that is the conflicting, that other side of things is what is needed, in my opinion, to have like healthy kids, healthy children, is having both. You got the mother and you got the father. You need that masculine, role model in there to teach lessons like that you can't just sit there and cry when you're trying to lie to get out of things. Like that's a lesson that needs to be told. And then the other thing I really liked about this was when Bill Burr said that, that's where you made the mistake, when he, talked to his daughter and he goes, see, Fortune, the CEOs of big companies can't just cry when they don't get their way. And Bill Burr brought up an excellent point. Again, this is that psychological ninja aspect of women, that he goes, that's where you screwed up, because you see what's going to happen is she's going to now take that last thing you said and then she's going to spin it on you, and then she's going to deflect and take the argument away from the facts or away from the lesson you're giving her, and she's going to, like a magician, divert your attention over here and then talk about the, toxic masculinity and CEOs and how women need to be, fair in the workplace. Excellent point, you guys. We see this all the time, and he dissected it really, really well there. Again, that little deflection thing, you always got to be on your toes, and that's part of the cost. That's the cost. That's one of those things. The longer you are with her, the longer period of time you're with her, the more you're going to run into these things, and every man has to make that decision. Are these costs worth it? Don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, but definitely subscribe.